We got a delivery to the cabin in the winter storm. Well, today we're gonna have an unboxing, so let's get to it. Today being a nice day, and tomorrow supposing to be a nice day is the following. Went ahead and uncovered everything. I'll take you up top with me so we can see where we're at. So right here I put just two layers of boards, just try them out at this spacing of joists, and I was able to jump on those and feel totally secure. So, and they're just set on top. So I'm really comfortable with 2 layers of flooring being adequate with that thickness. And so let's go inside through the window and up the ladder. So that blue tarp is not waterproof, and this being wet on this side, it's perfect demonstration of that fact, but it's alright. That one seems to have completely protected against the moisture, and that was covering the tools. Well, they were both covering tools. It was doubled up there, but what wasn't working out was that edge where I had just a couple of single layered boards covering the gap over here, and that resulted in bowing of those in the weight of the snow. And because the tarps, neither of them covered the entirety of the surface up here, and them being overlapped, the colored one was this way first, being the lighter one, and the blue one was this way. But what that did was it caused the water to be able to slide underneath it as it melted, and so that didn't protect the wood there nor down below where it dripped. And see if you can get a good view of that. There's a puddle down there. Yep. And I'm not too worried about that because I accepted the fact that I'm going to be reworking that floor, but I'm happy to know this one protected against the water and the tools are safe, and tomorrow I'll be able to have some time to dedicate out here to bring this up a little bit more. So I've got 1 level and a half, so that's two levels there, 2 logs there, 1 log here over the floor. I want to get 4 up. I want to get at least 2 feet above the loft before starting the pitch for the roof. That's the plan. Getting this uncovered now is in preparation for pushing as hard as I can to do that tomorrow. And today I've got some commitments that I've got to go, and that's going to take the rest of daylight, and it's super cold, so I'm not sure if I'll be doing anything after that on this tonight, but tomorrow for sure I'll be out here some and see how much I can get done, and I'll bring you with me so that we can enjoy the journey together. But I wanted to give you a quick view, and since it's just quick from today to tomorrow, it'll probably be a snap. Alright, well, it's next day, and I'm gonna go ahead and off camera I went ahead and pulled apart a couple more pallets, so I'll have some boards to rip. Those are, and I've got some more up top already, and that'll help me get more of the logs done. And I'll take you up real quick and show you where we're at there. Here's inside, really starting to look nice. It's supposed to start raining tonight and snow the next few days, and I'm not going to be available for a few days there, so after I do whatever I do, I'll have to cover it up. What I've done is I've attached a couple of boards thick here so that you can see I've got some support there that's going to help hold the ends of those boards. I plan to put at least 1 more on there, but we'll see. What I was thinking about doing was eventually I'll put 1 more of I'll put the thin boards, one of these boards here. It's about half the width or height in this case of these, and then I'll probably just follow that pattern all the way around, and that'll give me a little, and be, well, you get a pattern, and it'll give me some more support underneath these joists right at that level. So then that'll end with the end here. So I'll see what I end up doing there if I box around these. I've considered doing that, but that'll be definitely something done later on if I do it at all. But for now, you can see. Now, that window opening, the opening itself is 6 feet from there to the top of the frame. So that gives you perspective on the view there. And that starts about 10 inches off the ground-ish. And then the loft itself is going to be about 8'4" off the ground. So it's really going to feel open, even though it's small. So it'll be a good study area and play area for the kids. And I'm thinking that 30-inch opening at the end was a good choice. It's definitely going to feel a lot more open, a lot larger, having that up to the top of the ceiling, and I'm going to leave it cathedral style and just vaulted ceilings. Anyways, let's go up the ladder here so you can see what we see as we come up. It's 9 by 9.5 for a for a loft space, but since I don't have the loft in, because I want to get things covered before I do that, just have these boards covering what I can. And like I say, I just barely put that support in there. So with these, I lean those over just to see how it does. I mean, obviously, that's a little wiggly because there's a space underneath from the thickness of this board, but you can see how that gives some support, and I'll have one more board out, so it'll come out to there about, and that'll be about 2.5 inches, more or less, somewhere between 2.5 and 3 inches of support that is attached at that point. And I'm planning on doing something like that temporarily over there so that I can put a platform up to be able to put up that wall. And so that will probably be that piece of plywood leaned lengthwise, kind of like that one is, and then I'll just shuffle it back and forth. Once I get I'll do this side first since I'm already at that point, and hopefully that's next week. But if I keep talking, it won't be ever. So just want you to see right now, that's what we're looking like. We've got 2 logs above the loft floor everywhere except for the front, just right here. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now, and then I will trim the ends up so I can get these 10-foot lengths on. And what I have been doing so far is putting solid 10-foot laminations in order to increase the support as much as possible. But I'm out of what I have disassembled. The other 10-foot lengths are in those that are the porch, which I get to tear apart, but I have enough of the shorter ones that I think I'm gonna use them, because I have from that window, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 logs high that are solid 10-foot length lamination, so I'm not worried about structural integrity at this point. It's going to be totally fine, and I'll use some smaller pieces and do exactly what I'm doing with the rest of these, and just staggering them for where the joints come together. And there we go, like that, and that way it's still going to be strong and a solid log for support still something that you could walk on like a balance beam, and it'll hold you, especially sandwiched between everything else. And like I say, 2 more on top of that, and then I plan to start the pitch of the roof. So that's where we're at. It's getting exciting for me. I'm glad to see what I'm seeing. So wanted to share it with you. And this is the view up here. So at this point, let me walk over here and get a good certain angle down, straight down. So all the way down from the tip of my boot to that level, where that is about 9.5 feet. And then if we go all the way to the ground, it's 10 feet ish, maybe 11, because we've had to jack up the back end and put some more supports under it. If you watch a previous video, I talk about that, and that was when my brother was here helping me out. So that is where we're at, and I'm using the overhang from the joists to hold some of the extra materials so that it's not in the way, because like I'm going to do that. I'm going to take these and sit them out there as well. So these are the 10-foot length boards that have some nice details that I can use on the inside boards, and that one I want to use over on that side, I think, just because it's a nice detail. I think it's real pretty. Yeah, and that side's where we're going to have the wall that no one can touch. But I'm excited to get these done and get moving on the pitch of the roof, because, man, in the next week it's supposed to rain or snow like 5 days off and on, and just covering things up. It's going to be less and less efficient as I go. I'm definitely going to have to grab that really big tarp that's over there, which has some holes in it, and uncover it and lay it out over the top, double it up, and unfortunately it's going to create like a swimming pool in here, basically, because these walls are going to be about 2 feet high, and that's just going to suck. So have it 2 feet high walls, and then bow down, and I'm definitely going to have to get that support in there so that if it rains on that, it doesn't just rip the tarp and fall inside with all of that water. That would just ruin things for sure. But that's what I've got to do where I'm at, and it's getting close to getting the pitch on for the roof, and that's going to go pretty quick, I think, like I've mentioned before. But I'm going to stop rambling so I can get to for these logs on the back. I decided to, if you can't really see them from the angle that I am able to set up the camera, then I'm just gonna not worry about filming them. That way it's not wasted space. Oh, there's a little buddy over there barking at us again. He always gets upset. He's always there, though. He's the constant companion out here, and he'll run along the top of the wall there, and when he gets right next to me, he stops. Like he'll stop right there and stare at me, and jump 2 feet and stare at me, and be back and forth like that. He's got a big old tail too, I'll tell you. Anyways, and he's fast. Well, I'm going to get back to doing so that we can get closer to done. And thank you for joining me and enjoying this journey with me. And we'll get on with it. Good morning. Finally, we get a break in the precipitation. I went ahead and disassembled a couple of pallets during the rain. Unfortunately, that big old tarp that's covering the top has holes, and the weakness of the shape of the top being like a bowl that I was worried about. So when we come inside, we'll see that it's wet. Let's see if I can have enough light to show you. Come on in. Well, you can't really see here. Let me give this an attempt. There we go. It's the light from the drill. You can see all the darkness. That's where the boards are wet. There you can tell the gray difference. We've set this little space heater on top of that conduit to keep it off the ground, but provide some heat toward evaporation. Disassembled a couple of 10-foot pallets. That's going to help finish up the 10-foot length walls. And these ones are shorter, the 8 foots. I'm going to go ahead and take those down, and before I do that, I'm going to uncover the top. Now, as we look through here, you can see where the rain got things wet. And the reason is exactly what I would feared, that with the edges all around being taller than the top, the floor, that made it so it's like a bowl. And having the tarp up over the edges, less on the back than the front, as it filled with water, it pulled it down and allowed that to drain into the floor there, and you can see how that's wet, and there where the boards are layered up, it stayed more wet, and how it soaked the floor here, the wall there. And that is going to get dried out today, I hope, because I am pulling the tarp off of the top and going to do what I can today. But you can see there how there are holes in the tarp, and today is supposed to be clear. It's supposed to be nice and clear for a few days, so I'm going to give it a go, see how much I can get done. Because it would be really nice to get this dried in before it gets any more precipitation. I don't know what I'll get done, but I'll get done as much as I can. And so that's what we're going to do. Now that it's uncovered, let's go ahead and go upstairs. So the top, just what's uncovered there is, what's covered is at the door line, the top of the door frame. So you can see that's where we're at above the door, height wise. And so let's go inside and take a peek upstairs. Just gonna go in the side window here. See a little better how it's wet. And I'll show you upstairs. Luckily, the way that I set the boards up that I have ready over there, stacked them up over the tools, and you can see they created a height that supported the tarp here and ended up keeping both my tools and that side of the cabin underneath totally dry. This side, however, didn't have anything. All of this you saw me bring up just now, and so right there the tarp slipped in, and as the water pulled up, it just ran and wetted all this, and that was inside on top of that, creating another layer to just sit and absorb water. That's all soaked. So unfortunately, that's the situation. Luckily, all my tools are dry, so that's a good thing. That's keeping the tools in good conditions more important to me than having to dry things out that are not tools. So now what I gotta do is get the 12-foot lengths here back and forth set up so that we can do another layer all around. 10-foot lengths go quick. And while we're up here, let me just show you the mountains. This is our morning view here. Just have to look through the cables, unfortunately. It's quite the thick clouds over there. Can't see the top of the mountains. And over there, you can't see them either. Can't see the bottom or the top there, just in the middle. But at least you can see them a little bit. And you can see the hopes of a nice clear day. Let's get us around. A little panoramic view here. See the mountains on the other side of the valley over there. We've had such bad inversion lately that last week there were days you couldn't even see those mountains. There were a couple days you couldn't see the ones that are closest to us right over there. It was so bad. Really bad. But we're gonna focus on this. Definitely got some scrap to go through. Oh, hey, here's a little buddy. Not barking at us yet. Going about his morning. Well, we're about a foot up. Got about a foot to go. Hopefully I'll be able to dedicate some time to this today, enough to finish the side walls so that I can start tomorrow on the pitch of the roof over here. That's my goal, so we'll see how it goes. But just wanted to show, unfortunately, that tarp. So if you got a chance to buy a used billboard as a tarp, I didn't know it was a used billboard until I was picking it up, to be honest. But it's a little more fragile than a standard tarp because of the nature of it, and has some holes. And the guy that sold it to me was like, well, there are a few spots here and there, some duct tape's real effective at that. I thought, well, a spot or two is not a big deal, but it's more than a spot or two, unfortunately. But we'll see when we get the pitch of the roof up and sports, then we'll go ahead and double it up and cover that. But until then, just gonna keep pushing as hard as I can. So that's where we're at for now. Let's see what we can get done. Alright, well, that's where we're at for today. You can see it's 3 logs over the floor joist, and let's go upstairs and see what it's looking like. Brought my son upstairs here earlier, and he is getting excited about this, which is good, because look at this. I've got all the pieces cut out, the joinery cut for the log that's going on here, and so that one will go up real quick in the morning. And on the other side, I've got a couple of pieces that are traced so that I can get them cut out quickly, and then go from there. And that, if you notice, that's 4 boards or 4 logs above the loft floor. That was my goal. That's how I was planning it. And so my plan hence is to tomorrow get that log on, this log on, and then start with the logs here that will be forming the end that makes the pitch of the roof, or follows the pitch of the roof. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll be on that tomorrow. But that's where we're sitting. I'm really appreciating the day today. That has been beautiful. Let me set this up here so you can see what it's going to look like in the morning. So it'll be like that. That's what it's going to be, how it's going to be, and then it'll start this A shape up on that end, and here will be the roof that comes up toward the center over where I'm standing now, and that should go pretty quick. So I'm really excited because this has been a lot of work getting to this point. Gotta send a thank you to my big brother who came and helped me work on this project when he had the chance. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And tomorrow, the end of the sidewalls is happening, and that's a big deal for me. So I am sending out this prelude of this will be the last 2 logs will be up tomorrow, and then we'll be off to the races of the roof. And I've been blessed with a couple of good, really nice, good weather days. Finally stopped raining and snowing and such, and it's a long ways down. And I hope that window sits straight. It looks a little squonky. The frame does. So I'm going to need to cut off the excess of the depth there. So I want that to be flush so that I can put up a frame over the ends of it. If I made it full depth, I didn't trim those down at all before I put them up, so that'll be the same thing we see on all sides. Over here you can't see anything because it's covered. Over here you can, right there. Anyways, I'm super excited. I'll have to measure everything once it's done and let you know exactly how tall the walls are. But that is where it's sitting. Just gonna turn things off here. Yeah, there we go. And when I take the jacket, it doesn't do me any good in here. Oh, look at that, it's already getting shine. I don't know if you can tell how it's shining there from the cold moisture. Thinking about making a nice solid door, but might make one with a little door in it for the kids. That's been a request that I've contemplated. But that's where we're sitting for now. And thank you for joining me. Please hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up, and share it with anyone you think might be interested in seeing what I'm doing, might be interested in doing it themselves. So thank you so much. You have a good evening. You'll see me next time. Well, here we go. This is the last log of the walls to get put up. I'm gonna have you join me for it, and then I'll bring you up top and show you how it's looking. Alright, well, all the walls are up. That's as tall as she'll be on this side. It's huge, I gotta be honest. It's looks a lot bigger than in person than in my head. And it's quite the playhouse for the kids, I tell you what. It's gonna be pretty cool when I have the slides on it and stuff. But let's go inside, go upstairs and see how it looks. So, going in the window here, and oh, lost my pencil. I'll need that. Let's go on up the stairs and see. Now, I gotta measure that, but let's see. I got a measuring tape. I'll take it up with me so we can measure from the top down. Okay, going up the ladder. And there we are. So I wanted to get about a 2-foot rise before hitting the angle of the roof, because that way when you're laying on the ground sleeping you don't feel like you're boxed into a corner. So let's find out exactly how far we got. And okay, just shy of 2 feet. So we'll have about 20 inches. Now I'm gonna double up the floor, so it'll be ½ inch or so less than what we've got. So it'll be about 20 inches before we hit the angle of the roof. And So now I gotta decide what angle the pitch is gonna have. And that's how it'll be. It'll be all open right there to that point. And so the walls are done. That's it. Okay, smash that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and share this with everyone you can think of. It hits a milestone, because this is a big milestone for me. Thank you. And you'll see me next time. I'm working on the roof and the end walls here that follow the pitch of the roof. Thank you.